This video contains no swearing. How's it going, guys? You alright? So listen, someone was saying to me yesterday and over the last week, 2 weeks, few weeks, whatever, similar sort of question. They were saying, can Liverpool, qualify for the top four, get Champions League qualification, etc. And if you think about that today, right, during the January transfer window, a team in our position that wants to finish in the top four would invest. Would you agree? You could say, well, bit of business here and there, don't? Yeah, but is it enough to get top four? See, I would argue that if you spent 100 million, say now, right, forget anything else that we've done prior to this video, I would argue if you spent not even 100 million, 2 players, right? But let's just say 100 million. Would they make back that money if they qualify for the Champions League? Is it like spend to accumulate kind of thing? See, a team that is ambitious deals in every transfer window, I think, especially the January one, because that does show ambition, because the January transfer window is a very difficult window to, to secure deals in. You're going to pay a premium. It's mid-season. Clubs don't want to let go of the players. Look at Brighton, the resistance they've put on, right? But look at our rivals. Look what they're doing. They're going for it. Even teams that are in a better position than us are investing. What we're fed from by Klopp, who's complicit because he allows them to get away with this, is, we can't just go out and buy more players because when the other ones come back, they'll be certain we'll have extra players. Oh, what about if we get more injuries, Jurgen? Honestly, just think of it like this. Right? Can Liverpool qualify for the top four? Yes, they can. But the chances of that right now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, if Liverpool went out and signed 2 or 3 players in this window, players that are going to play, I'm not talking about, a highly rated youngster or something, or one for the future. If Liverpool went out and did that, would that increase our chances of qualifying for the Champions League? I would argue yes. I mean, it's no guarantee. But if they were serious about it, they would be saying, right, what do? We need to invest further. And, all being well, we'll get that European spot and we'll reap the rewards from that. What's the worst case scenario? We end up with a couple of players. You don't qualify for the Champions League. You end up with a couple of extra players when the others come back from injury or whatever. We've got Kanate injured now. Have you seen how old some of these players are? So why can't you restart the huge, squad build or whatever now? We know why. Very strange going on. It's a very strange attitude. Very, very strange. Even from the manager. I don't want to be taking shots at Jurgen, guys. I really don't. It's very strange. He's the only manager I've ever known at any football club ever that's happy with what he's got. You can have the best managers. Pep. I don't particularly like Pep Guardiola, but he's a very good manager. With money, of course. You got Sir Alex, these sort of managers. And even when they had the best teams, they still wanted to be even better. They wanted more. They still wanted more. And we've got Jurgen that's like, I've got confidence in what we have. And these players are injured when they come back. It's just like James Milner, he'll be on crutches one day. I'm like, not crutches, what are them things called? Zimmer frame. He'll Zimmer frame one day, won't he? He's alright. We've got, we can manage. a team that is serious, a club, should I say, that is serious, at this stage of the season, right now, there's so much more to play for. And it's not just qualifying for the Champions League. We've got the current Champions League to go, to compete for. And a massive fixture coming up in there. So, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, the lack of, ambition, and I don't understand what's going on in Jurgen's head, personally. I don't understand how he can sit there and go, that's how it works around here, isn't it? I mean, Jurgen, come on. I bet Jurgen Klopp's agent was ambitious at the last time they negotiated a contract for him. I bet he didn't go by... when Jurgen took the job initially, and he took on, he understood the working conditions. This is why he doesn't complain. This is, in my opinion, that's why. When people say, why is he not kicking off? Because I think that he understood the conditions that were given to him when he accepted the job. So you can't really then moan about it later. Because, hang on a minute, this is how we're going to operate. Okay. So he stood by that loyalty, that understanding of, he accepted those conditions and he's working to them. And that's why I think he doesn't really go for them. Right? However, I think those conditions change should change, because when he came in, he accepted those conditions and he has given massive return on their investment and delivered and delivered and delivered. So those conditions should change a little. He should get more support from the owners, right? For that, they should recognise him. Now, during his last contract negotiation, I bet his agent did not go, well, we understood the job when we came in and we were happy with what we're being paid. I bet during those negotiations on a personal level that his agent said he's done this, this and this, so it deserves this, this and this. So Jurgen gets what he wants, right? And his agent gets what he wants. All right. But why has no one at any point in those negotiations said, and what about, the situation, what about money for me if I extend my contract? Will it be not for me, for the squad, for the team? Because if they'd turn around and gone, yeah, we want you to sign and we're going to give you a pay rise and that, and there'll be additional funds available, then those conditions would have changed and he could be kicking off about it. He's not kicking off about it because he's obviously happy with what they're paying him, what he's getting out of it on a personal level. But I'm trying not to swear. That's why there was a pause. He's obviously happy, isn't he? The conditions changed then when he renegotiated his contract. I guarantee it. I love Jurgen Klopp. I really do. But I tell you what, I don't want him to come out and go and be... He doesn't even have to do it publicly, And then there's there's that little bit of you inside, or there is me, and I'm thinking all right, has he been told, look, just see it out, Jurgen, because we won't be around for much longer with a bit of luck. I don't believe that's been said, personally. More likely has been said, we're trying to do everything we can, Jurgen, get a minor investor, and then we'll have the money for a rebuild, and that would explain why he's plodding. That's the only explanation I can come up with. Because if it isn't that, then he's going down in my estimation, because it means, right, he is happy with what he has, and what he has is not good enough. And he can be at the best of intentions and everything and give his all to the club, and I know he does, right? We've seen that. The guy's worked, I don't think any other manager could have worked to what they wanted. And this isn't about digging at Jurgen. But surely in football you want to be the best. And guys, you know that I'm not one of these people that's yeah, you've got to go out there and get Bellingham right now. I mean, why not anywhere? Do you know what I mean? Right, money talks. You're right, don't pay over the odds then. You get it? Maybe they tried to get Casiedo, which I reckon they did, and it's too much. But why can the other clubs, right? How much did they get in for Brighton? 4.5 million, was it? Something like that? I don't know. But how come the other clubs are often buying these players up so cheap, turning them into these great players, and the big clubs want to buy? It's about time we started recruiting their staff. Isn't it? So it proves that those players are out there right now. There are players out there right now that could be added to the squad, as Rafa would say. But we can't even find them or the money for them. So, it doesn't always have to be a 60 million signing, 50 million signing. But why not anyway? Our rivals are doing this. There hasn't been much intensity, has there, on the pitch since he brought that book out. See, I'm trying not to swear. Since he brought that book out, intensity. All the intensity's gone. Where's that, even when I think of that team now, right, and I don't see, I'm not sure if I see leadership anymore. I'm not sure where's the excitement for us as supporters? Do you know what I mean? We can do this all day long, but it's the results that matter. Excuse me. And who's that player on the pitch that's making us believe? Do you know what I mean? Jurgen came and said, we'll turn you into believers or whatever. And he did. He did. But we've hit a brick wall. And it just feels like the club is just falling to pieces. And I will never, ever, ever believe anything or anyone that says any different to the fact that Julian Ward saw this coming and bailed. He saw it coming. I think around that time, and the run up to then, there was question marks over Jurgen Klopp as to how long he would be at the club. These players were all getting older. There was whispers that the owners wanted out. I said all this all back then, and all of it has come true. We knew that we thought that Jurgen would extend his deal and all that. I always said I thought it'd be hard for him not to, because I think, if everything's going right, I think it's hard for a manager to walk away, and Jurgen is a god in the city, right? So you don't win the European Cup and all that, and even the league, even though it's like we never won the league because of COVID, and then go, no, I'm going to leave. It's very, very difficult. You leave when things aren't going right, or maybe you don't feel as loved or special, and it's getting harder for Jurgen. It must be. I mean, that guy, do you see the Jurgen that we all know? Do you see that? I don't see that anymore. And again, I'm not digging at him. I'm talking about the enthusiasm that, could I go? You know what I mean? I don't see it on the bench. I don't see it on the pitch. It's clearly not upstairs in the ownership department. No one's full of excitement and ambition. There's no ambition. There's no ambition from top to bottom at the moment. Maybe it'll come back with Jurgen, get a good win, he'll be doing all that, giving it Rocco. It was only the other week he sat there and, giving it all it's like a broken man. It's like the club is just falling to pieces. And you could turn around and say, no, you're overreacting, Dunk. Well, I don't think I am. I'm usually right. I am usually right. You don't get no medals for being right. There's no prizes. It's just, I think about these things a lot. And when I say something, it does tend to happen. Couple of good wins, we'll all be happy again. Buys a bit of time, doesn't it? But I'll go back to my original point. You the chairman or the owner of Liverpool Football Club, right? What would you be thinking now when you look at that table? You'd be thinking, we're going to have to strengthen this team now, this squad now. Not in the summer as part of a rebuild, but now. Because if we do this now, we might just get that, top four and additional revenue and things like that. And then we can sign better players that will help for next season and beyond. But if you've got owners that are going, meh, and if you've got a manager that's willing to accept it, then what? Because surely, if you were the manager looking at that league table, you're going to be going, guys, we've got a chance here, you know, if we do, you know. I just cannot understand how any Liverpool supporter can accept the lack of ambition that this club currently displays. And this is Liverpool Football Club. This isn't Newcastle United. No offence, Newcastle. You know, you've got great fans and I love your club and all that. And I'm so delighted to see Newcastle doing well. But Newcastle United have got the ambition. They've got the ambitious owners. They've got that, guys. Newcastle United, not Liverpool. Newcastle. And fair play to them. But their standards are a bit different to ours. So what they're experiencing right now is new to them. And they're enjoying it. And God bless them. But we're Liverpool. This is supposed to be standard for us. And the Liverpool fans out there going, well, it's all right. We're all right. Done all right. We won a few trophies. What you've won yesterday is irrelevant. You win a cup final today, and tomorrow I'll be saying to you, forget about that. That's yesterday. Pep Guardiola, look at his attitude at Man City. The minute the season ends, they'll have something lined up, gone, done, amazing. And we, as Liverpool's, well, not I'm excluding we from this, me from this we, but Liverpool fans, they're all the talk about is Jude Bellingham. Like Jude Bellingham's going to be the answer to everything. Do you really think just Jude? But that's it. Nice one. We need 3 Jude Bellinghams. There's no ambition in that team. There's no ambition in that club from top to bottom at the moment. Julian Ward saw it coming, I think, and bailed. All this rubbish about, and my plan was I was always going to leave. Yeah, right. You leave. When Liverpool everything was going right, and it just, you don't leave a club that's going places. He's thought, yeah, I'm getting me out of it. See, I can't even say what I think he thought because YouTube will tell me off for swearing. Now, when I publish this video online, read the video description because if it gets flagged, I don't think there's a single swear word in this video. But if it gets flagged, I'll update the video description to tell you and to tell you that's what I'm up against. And if it continues, I'm just going to move all my videos to channel members or something, or to Rumble or somewhere else, and YouTube can go and whistle. A serious football club makes things happen. You do not have to sign Jude Bellingham today to prove a point. There is a lot of quality out there, and good managers, right, and the best coaches find that talent and bring them in. We shouldn't have to just go out and spend £100 million on players. Where are the Andy Robertsons? Where, you know what I mean? Where are these players that, you know, that you buy and turn into something? It's extremely, extremely disheartening. And I think that we're going to see a lot of guff from tomorrow onwards. Maybe not tomorrow, but I think the PR will start. Remember, when I was in Boston when they bought the club, do you remember what I came back and told you? They will manage your expectations. And your expectations, I think a lot of people have come round to it now and realise how things are. But that means that they will try and manage your expectations, even if they fail with that, over the coming weeks. So you look out for it. Look out for what you read over the coming weeks. After the game, the last disappointing game, two journalists at the Echo on Twitter. One said, I don't know if they were both at the Echo. I think they were actually, but they were part of that clique. You know them. You know what I mean. And it was the FA Cup, wasn't it? Yeah. It was within minutes of the game ending. an article saying the positives to take from today's defeat, crashing out of the FA Cup. The positives. Can you imagine? I was going to say then, can you imagine someone coming up to you, and saying trying to tell you about the positives after your team's just been knocked out of the FA Cup? Something. I've got some positives for you. You know what I can't say what my response would be to that. So the positives from that, right? That was what one of them said within minutes of the game ending, and the other one said, "But this is a team in transition." No, it's not. That wasn't a team in transition. No, it isn't. Stop lying. Stop jerking us off. Now, jerking, is that a bad word? Am I going to get into trouble for saying that? Right, my tea's nearly finished. An ambitious football club would be making sure that the manager had the right tools and right resources to push for the second half of the season, the second half of the campaign, not just to try and qualify for top four, but also to pursue the Champions League that we're still in at the moment. And an ambitious manager, I think, would be showing more signs of discontent.